Benfica Podcast is one of the founding members of Benfica Independent. Benfica Independent is an independent platform made by fans for fans, and in it you can find opinion articles, podcasts, including ours truly, and also modalidades, if you will. We're also on Patreon, patreon.com/Benfica Independent, where you can get merch, you can sign to get exclusive content, and share your Benfiquismo.
Ser benfiquista é uma crença.
É uma religião muito grande.
A adesão a um culto que é liberado, que é crer, que é vontade, que é o caráter das pessoas.
Calma de quem é grande, maior que os maiores. É uma paixão com outra explicação.
Eu não consigo explicar o que é ser do Benfica. Eu sinto o que é ser do Benfica. É de facto uma paixão e as paixões são assim, vivem-se assim intensamente.
Aqui não há nenhuma razão. É paixão, paixão, paixão.
Ser Benfica. Até à morte.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Talking to the Dog Benfica Podcast. My name is Alfredo Fumaças. Episode number 446 is what we're up to. With me, as always, Cristiano Oliveira. Cristiano, como é que é, amigo? Tudo bem contigo?
Yeah.
It's only 2 games left. There's light at the end of the tunnel.
I don't want to sound like I'm repeating myself, but yeah, I mean, look, a couple of games left, a couple of podcasts left. So it's sad. The year's coming to an end, but at the same time, I can't tell you I'm too upset.
You know
what are you sad about?
Yeah, right. You know who else is not?
Now, I won't be getting together with you guys on the regular for a little while.
But you know who else is not upset? Dave de Oliveira. What's happening, Dave?
What's going on? Good to be back this week, boys.
Yeah. You traded us for a Maple Leafs game?
Blue Jays game.
Blue Jays
game. They beat
Sorry to
the
hear that.
Red Sox, but currently losing to the Yankees of Cristiano there. But
everybody's been losing to the Yankees this year. Don't feel bad.
Yeah, don't feel bad. Good to be back on here, and like you said, the countdown is on, and I will not shed a tear once the season is over. We'll pack up our bags and bury this season. We never want to talk or review this season again. You know how like Benfica FM does those seasons that they review? Guarantee that they're not going to be reviewing this season.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. I think FM was pushing. Someone at FM was pushing for them to review the season that we finished in like 6th place.
They did that.
Oh, they did that. So see, Dave,
I was on that review.
Okay,
I was on that season review.
So I was right. See,
but I mean, like 6th is like terrible, right? So it's historically bad. So you would review that. Yeah. But like 3rd place, like what's the specialty of reviewing this season? The Liverpool in our Champions League runs?
No, I mean, I guess there's not a study later on how this team really shit the bed when it came into domestic competitions, but yet we'd go over to Europe and pull a rabbit out of the hat. So I mean, I guess it could be something to talk about. We talk about the great Darwin Nunez,
the blow up of Darwin Nunez. Want to take some time to welcome Diogo Reis. He's our first person in the chat here.
Freddie Diogo.
Hope everything is well with everyone out there.
As I score, baby, 4-3.
As I mentioned, we're coming to a close, and we're doing anything to distract ourselves from having to talk about Benfica's miserable performances. On tonight's podcast, we'll obviously, we'll look at the Maritim game for a little bit. We also have the Classico coming up this weekend, and a game that could dictate that Porto clinches the championship with a tie or a win, or a loss and a Sporting loss. They would get to celebrate at Stadio Luz, and I can't begin to tell you how upset I am that situation is going to present itself, and we might be looking at another celebration by the fucking Porcs at Stadio Luz. And
I mean, I don't listen, man. I'm worried about winning the game. Win the game, handle your business. They ain't nobody celebrating anywhere. Benfica does what they have to do. There's that old term, and it's used a lot in American sports, but defend home turf, baby. Right, Dave? You defend home turf. Do what you got to do. I know it's going to be 11 versus 14 for most part. But, hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Did they announce Arturo Soares Diaz yet?
Isn't he like off to Europe or something?
No. He's doing a semifinal of the Europa League.
Okay, so
But
that's what I'm saying. He's off to Europe.
from what we hear, he's going to be the selected ref, or everybody's predicting that
He's
will
always,
be the
isn't he always?
selected.
Isn't he the guy
ref.
that inaugurated a restaurant or a bakery or a club or
Bakery.
something in Porto, and he
Yep.
invited the whole Porto staff?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, that guy. I mean, geez, him being biased.
You got
can't see
him. Then you got Hugo Miguel, which
bro,
he
there's
was
too many of them, bro.
he was the representative of Macron in Portugal
Macron,
while
yeah.
Sporting were Macron. I mean, you name it, man.
Isso é pá, o Benfica que manda nesta merda toda, pá.
O gajo do talho é que sofre.
O rei dos frangos.
O rei do frango e o gajo do talho. Anyway, Timo, what's happening, man? Hope you're doing well, man. I know you're missing Portugal.
The bearded one.
The bearded one. That's right. Oh, but he was just in Florida playing some golf. Nice,
Living a good life.
nice pictures, man. Hope you enjoyed
Did you
that.
get an invite?
I did not get an invite, but I
I
don't
guess I'm
play
not the
golf
only
all that
one.
well either.
Neither is he, and he still goes.
Nah, Timo plays.
I don't know.
Timo's a baller. He's a goalie and he's a golfer, so he knows how to handle those balls. So anyway, we're also gonna go through a little bit of an exercise. Somebody posted the 4 teams that were in the finals for Benfica Youth. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at those teams.
That was right. Antero Santos.
Yeah, Antero. That's right.
Grazie,
Antero.
Antero.
And so we're gonna go through each one of those 11s, or actually just the 3 oldest 11s, and see where they are. Right? Where are they now?
One from last week is kind of
Yeah, the last week is pointless.
Yeah.
But where are they now? Because
not really, because you wait a couple more weeks. All those guys will be on the main squad. They'll be starters. Everybody wants these guys on the main squad. So hey, maybe the starting 11 will be this team.
According to Rui Costa.
And everybody else.
According, Timo says don't have to be good to go on a great trip, fellas.
Exactly. See, Timo, my man. Timo knows.
Diogo Reis says the team was responsible for setting up the Benfica Podcast golf tournament.
You know those guys from Massachusetts are. They just worry about themselves.
I did not say that. I did not say that.
There's always pinning regions against each other.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Hey, look, for Massachusetts and the Minnesota, I don't know. That's a double whammy.
Yeah. You're going to be on that no enter list into those places. You're not going to be allowed across the border.
I've been.
You're
been on
you're
it.
a wanted man in Mass.
I've been on it. No, not Mass.
But the Azores.
Yeah, Azores for sure.
There's I was gonna say there's a
Why'd you
statue.
tell him he's missing Portugal? Like, I'm missing Portugal.
No, because
does he ever tell me I'm missing Portugal?
Before, because we talk all the time, but before the pandemic, right? Timo was going to Portugal 2-3 times a year.
Where he was the American ambassador for Jägermeister.
Yes, he was. Timo introduced Jägermeister to a lot of people out there.
Timo had to make his way out there.
Yep, Jägermeister. That's right. So anyway, here we are. Maritim game. Do we really need to talk about? Both teams with nothing to play for.
No, we scored a goal early. It was good. My boy, my neighbor.
Julius stole the ball.
Try to bend it around. Bend it like Beckham.
Bend it like Beckham, and ended up at the rebound off of Darwin's head.
It was a nice little play by Bend It Like Diaz.
Yeah. You know, I got to be honest. I don't miss too many Benfica games, but I missed this one. Number one, I wasn't home.
Normally, it's both of you guys that are watching. I'm missing, and I'm the only one here that watched the game. I mean, what's going on?
Number one, I wasn't home.
That's parenthood.
And number two, I had no desire to catch a replay after everything that I read. So, but more of the same. Need a team with a lot to play, and it seems like the whole Benfica team has gone on vacation, with the exception of Darwin. But it is what it is. Like
Darwin better not go on vacation. He's trying to get his stock up.
He's trying to get his stock up. He doesn't need to get any more stock up. I think he leads that best scorers by quite a margin, if I'm not mistaken.
You never know. They'll ban like the 6 goals he scored against Belenenses.
Oh yeah, that's yet to that decision is yet to come out. Apparently, I don't know.
Now they're just gonna count it because it doesn't interfere with the results. So now conta.
Now that Benfica doesn't need those 3 points.
If Benfica was up there tied, it would be game would be replayed
for sure.
It would be replayed on Friday, and then they play Saturday instead of lose against. It'd be like back to back.
For sure, it's like I was before I came here. I was reading on a Bola website that Petit got suspended for a month for being ejected off a game.
Seriously?
And
Yeah.
wasn't that just a game that just took place recently too,
A
right?
game from 3 years ago, or
No,
like
it
no,
was
was it-
recent.
It was recently, but when it comes to Benfica, then those ones take 2 years to come down with the decision, and then they only release it on a
It's not
derby
just
or a
Benfica,
Classico.
Dave. You can say Porto Sporting.
Yeah, the
Those
big three.
guys were fake suspended, and then they got to appeal, and they all got to play each other in the Taça de Portugal semifinals or whatever it was. So hey,
Yeah, but what I was trying to say is that all the behavior that Sergio Conceição has had, and that other little dwarf that's part of their technical team, the guy that gets super red,
I was.
all their behavior. It's for some reason it's acceptable.
I'm not trying to pile on anybody here, but that guy, that dude, every single game that they play, that guy gets into a confrontation with somebody. I was in Portugal at the Supertaça game, Porto Sportivo Daves, and which Porto wound up winning. Obviously, I don't think anybody's surprised. But early on, every single foul that was called against Porto, that guy, it wasn't even Sergio Conceição. I don't know. Conceição, I don't even. It might have been Conceição's first year. I don't recall. It's like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Every foul, that dude, like not the Porto bench, him. He's getting up. He's at midfield. He's chowing down the freaking assistant referees. It was just, I'm sitting there the whole time like, how is this guy last more than 5 minutes in any game? It is absolutely amazing.
All of them, they jump out of that bench like the Jack in the Box. Every time.
Carlos is here. What's up, Carlos?
Carlos is here. Now we can.
Fabs. Good morning, Fabs.
Now we could start.
The
Good morning.
Freddies are here.
The
Yo,
Freddies are here.
Carlos was just in Pittsburgh, bro. Congrats, Carlos.
Yeah, congrats to you and obviously your family and your son
That's what's up.
for getting that
I
accomplished.
thought it was the quarterback for a quick second. I got drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. From far, it looked like, but he told me no, they're just friends. So that's cool.
They're just
Yeah, they're just friends.
just
Oh,
friends.
okay. Not related.
No, congratulations, man. It's a big accomplishment in today's age where kids don't really pay attention to school or they decide to go and do other stuff. Somebody that pursues their education and improves themselves is something that you could commend.
It's too bad that Carlos wasn't a regular listener to the podcast at the time, because when Benfica came here and I got to go out there with Benfica, I was at their practice facility for the football team. I was actually at the university as well. I was making my rounds because I had to do a lot of those things for Benfica. And so, I mean, it would have been cool to meet up with Carlos or his son at least. But hey, fica para próxima.
Carlos lives in New Jersey.
Tá bem, mas podia estar lá visitar o filho, ver o Benfica. Olha.
But school probably haven't even started yet, probably. Because that was what, August? Early August?
July.
No, July.
July.
So yeah, school starts in September, man.
Listen, you get to go visit your son. He gets to move into to his new dorm. You visit him and you watch a Benfica game. I mean, there's worse trips. I mean, you go to a source. I mean, I'm joking. That came out the wrong way.
No, Carlos saying I was there that day, dropping off Andrew.
See, that's a bit.
So we could have met up at the Benfica game in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, or I could have just hung out with him, but he didn't want to pay Superboc over there because there's no Superboc. Because he would have paid, but if there was Superboc, there wasn't, right, Carlos?
You would have paid Pittsburgh Lager.
Freshman year, he's right. It was 28. Wow,
4 years.
Time does fly, man.
Jesus Christ,
Time does fly. Time does fly. But anyway,
it's that long ago. Luis Riviera is still the president.
you're right.
There's pictures of you opening up the door for him too.
That's
Isn't
right.
there?
I'm just happy there's no pictures of me making the tea, his special tea that he had me go chase down. The Marriott main chef, the dude that had to be flown in from, I don't know, came in a submarine and then a helicopter to make him his tea. And it was just, I'm glad there's no video of that.
Wasn't he left his phone somewhere and you had to
Yes.
fetch his phone and bring it up to his room?
No, he left his phone. Dave, we talking about those pictures. So he was so excited that I was there to open the door for him. He forgot his phone in the limo. So this is like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. Limo takes off. And then they realize, they go bonkers that his phone's missing. So obviously, I spoke Portuguese, so everybody's hounding me. So I start making phone calls, yada, yada, yada. Luckily, somebody was able to go back to the limo place, bring the phone to me. So then I had to go to his suite. knocked on his door, and I handed it to him, and he's like,
Was he in a lounge chair eating
He
Cheetos?
was like, what do you got? No, he was in Speedos.
Pipocas.
He's in Speedos and socks up to his knees when he opened the door.
Speedos and socks up to his knees?
Quick,
For real?
No, man. Come on, for real. No, he still had his suit on. And he comes to the door, and I was like, Presidente, toma o telefone. Epa, faltava bem que não. And I'm like, Presidente, se o telefone pudesse falar, que histórias é que contaria? Ai, que histórias! Saíam livros! And that was it.
Was it, the interactions that you had with him, was he a guy that treated you well?
No, he was look, there was other people in this. I mean, this is long ago, right? There was other people in the staff that weren't as friendly as him, but he was cool. I mean, besides all the BS that obviously have been going on in Benfica world for a long time, in terms of the way he treated me, and again, I don't know if it was because I was Portuguese and so the guys were kind of nicer to me than they probably would have to anybody else working at the time. But he was super, super cool. I mean, like I said, he sought me out for any little thing. He needed a specialty. I'll never forget this shit. I was at this humongous Marriott. Now walk me and the cook, Benfica's main cook and the Portuguese national team, Fernando. We're walking through these ginormous Marriott kitchen, and you had to find the main cook, and he had to come and they had to brew his tea at a certain time. It was just bonkers. It was bonkers. The stuff that these guys, get pampered with. It's stuff that you wouldn't even believe if you read in a book or you see it in a book.
What about that story when you got a call like at 11:30 at night from Jetson and he wanted you to go pick up some razors for him?
You can't be talking about. There's a lot of funny stories. A lot. I mean, there's a lot of them that obviously I don't want to share on there. But yeah, he was cool. A lot of the Funcionários, a lot of the guys that worked for Benfica at the time were really cool. Coaching staff, I really didn't speak much to.
Yeah,
the coaching staff in the Portuguese group.
Well, at the time was Rui Vitória.
Yeah, and a lot of those people look at Nelson. Nelson's getting upset.
Keep he's pulling out the Will Smith line.
But a lot of those guys that they didn't really. Não mostrava muito os dentes, and some people would say it's because they listen to the podcast on the regular and listen to you bash them. So you can't expect these guys to be really kind to you. But no, getting back to what we were talking about, Pittsburgh University is pretty. Their practice facility they share, so they share their facility, the football at least, with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So it's a ginormous facility, and right half. So you have a main door to the right is the Pittsburgh. What do they call them? The Lion? I don't even know. Whatever. The Tigers. I think it's the Lions. And then
no. Yeah. Carlos, what's
Pittsburgh Panthers, some shit like that.
It's not
I think it's the Panthers. I think it's the Panthers.
Yeah, and then to the left of it is the Steelers. And so when they come out, the first two fields right outside the doors to come out to the back, that's for the Steelers. And then the whatever, I think it's the Panthers. They practice on a far away two fields. So when the Benfica players start coming out, and so this is during preseason for football. And for those of you that follow football and may not, if you follow, if you don't, you get to know now. You have like 130, 140, 150 guys at practice. You have a 53-man roster. I know that's in the pros. You might in a college might be like 60, 63. But there is guys. But then you got walk-ons.
Yeah,
there's walk-ons. So they make the team, bro. And so when the Benfica players come out, 30 guys come out, and they see, they're like, "What aquilo, pa?" And so I had to sit there and explain to Rui Costa, and that's when me and Rafa sparked up a conversation. I explained to him that there is different units for the offensive unit, special teams unit, the defensive. Like, okay, and so the whole team's just around me. And I'm explaining to him what American football was. So it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. And then we proceeded to start watching them practice actual soccer, football, and then make a cross into the box to Castillo, the new striker. And he's literally 2 feet from the goal. And he's able, if you guys follow football, there's the uprights and then there's a net behind it. And so the uprights, how tall it is.
Yeah.
And the dude's 3 feet from that net, and he's able to miss the goal, and put the ball over the net. And everybody at practice just looked around at each other and the ball, and they said, "Epa, isso posso fazer eu, não era preciso gastar dinheiro para trazer." Yo, it was amazing how he was able to put that ball over that net from that close. It was just tremendous. So, yeah, I mean, that was a sign of
the good times, man.
And then we went back to the hotel, and He's running around in his underwear, talking about the light in his room is off. It was bananas. It was a lot.
Yeah, no, it was a good time. I have good jealousy from you. Having
but you were there.
experience. I was there, but not at the capacity that you were. You were with the
They
team.
needed a little. So as you guys know, this is a funny story that a lot of people don't know. So, like the electricity in the United States, 110 or whatever, and in Portugal, like 220.
Yeah.
And so the Luisinho, may God rest his peace. May he rest in peace. Luis, the guy that passed away, the kid man. They brought the presser because they were making shirts to give away to people. They put the numbers and press it, but that was 220 voltage or whatever, and so they were afraid to burn it. So we're in Pittsburgh. There's nothing Portuguese around. There's no converter. You know what I mean? So they needed a converter. I think it's a converter, right? A little generator converter thing. So they put me on a freaking flight from Pittsburgh to Jersey to get the converter, back to Pittsburgh, back to Jersey. Then the game's going on. I'm flying back to Jersey to make sure that the practice was. So I was like the main guy coming in, checking out the, field conditions were fine. Everything was ready before the team. I felt important for a quick second.
Yeah, no, that was a good experience, man.
Good times.
Both years that were here for the International Champions Cup, you were involved with the team, and I actually had press.
Well, one time
access.
I almost got beat up because of three.
Yeah,
because I asked a question about that, if you recall. That actually came in the front cover of the Portuguese newspaper.
That year you weren't.
No, I wasn't involved.
No, yeah, we had press access.
Just had press
yeah,
we went to Canada.
Yeah,
we went to Canada.
So Cristiano's love for Tarap goes
way back
a ways because
first time he showed up.
He asked Rui Vitória the first game
against Paris Saint-Germain.
He asked Rui Vitória why Tarap didn't play.
No, I asked two questions. I said, Mister, how was the reception from the Portuguese faithful here in Canada? And why
Toronto, right?
In Canada, Toronto. And why didn't my boy Adel Tarap play? Well, the Portuguese people always receive us well. They're tremendous by everywhere we go. And Adel Tarap, and it was a smart answer. He's one of 31 players we have here.
Yeah.
They can't all play. Oh, beleza.
Okay.
Ooh.
Then we went down to Connecticut.
Paulo Souza, my boy, was there.
We went out to Connecticut, and you asked again.
No, I had a question.
The same question.
No.
Why didn't Tarap
play? My defense, if you guys recall, this is going back. This is 2015. That was the day that it was announced that Lima was leaving the club. He was going to Asia, whatever, to the Arabias. And so I get to the press conference, and I got my hand up to ask, now that, say avançado, Benfica vai ao mercado. Like, are we going to be looking for another striker? But then the dude from RTP or whatever on the TV channel, he asked that about Lima. So I put my hand down. That was really the only question I had. And so they come to me and they're like, yo, tu, peguei. I'm like, Cristiano Oliveira, Sirius XM, era. Pá, era para perguntar a pergunta do Lima, mas lá que já responderam agora, olha, lá que tenho a mão. What's up with my boy Adel Tarap? Why didn't he play again? and Rui Vitória is getting ready to answer.
No, and that's the situation that made it onto the paper, that particular incident. Or was it in Toronto?
Both.
Yeah, but in the one that came out on record.
Not Toronto. It was the one in Connecticut, and then it was the one at Red Bull Arena.
No, the Red Bull Arena.
That one made it.
The press officer was looking for you because Tarap had played, and he's like, "Where's that guy? Where's that guy?"
Off Connecticut before Rui Vitória gets ready to answer, and he's like, you went to the game on Wednesday or whatever the other day. I'm like, yeah.
You going to the game on Wednesday.
Came here today. I'm like, yeah, obviously. Damn it. What's it look like? You going to be at the game Sunday? Yes, sir. Well, I have answers for you then. Grab my man by the collar. Let's go.
Yeah.
Press conference over.
Yeah.
So then we get
to finish. Chris.
And all the cameras pan to me and like, Norte-Americano, jornalista Norte-Americano discutindo. I'm like, what the fuck? Whatever. Everybody, what's your name? Writing down like, yo, I'm like, yeah. So whatever. So Dave, you weren't around then. So we get to Red Bull Arena. So now I got the all access pass. I can go wherever the hell I want, right? And so everybody's like, you got to leave. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm waiting to see my idol. I don't know if I should be saying this nowadays, but I'm waiting. And it's not Adel Tarap, ladies and gentlemen. It's Rui Manuel Costa. So I'm waiting. Manuel Cesar Costa, right? So I'm waiting to see him. So I get to the players side, and the bus pulls up, and first person out of the bus is that guy. I don't want to say his name because whatever. And he walks by me and he's like, "Hoje vamos ter resposta." And I'm like, whatever, dude. Let me see Rui Costa. That's all I care about. So Rui Costa comes out. So the team comes out. Whatever. I can take pictures of Rui Costa. The whole shebang. And then when the game was done, yes, exactly. Red LeBaron, first Nelson Smith start, exactly.
Yep.
I believe we lost. Mike Grella scored a game-winning goal.
Yep.
the Long Island Messi. Julio Cesar was in goal. Whatever. So so guys, since I'm telling the story, I might as well keep telling it. So Alfredo tell you, I'm walking around the field. There's like nobody could do. I'm just doing what I'm behind the bench. I'm taking pay like selfies behind the play, whatever. You guys know it is the iPhone. That's the battery drain. So I'm like, fuck. So I start calling me. I call my cousin. She's in the stands. I'm like, yo, you got a charger? She's like, yeah, I do. I'm like, oh, dope. I get a charger. So, but long story short, the game ends. I'm on the field and I'm taking pictures that I played the first 45 minutes and disappeared. I'm taking pictures of everybody, videos and whatever. Game ends. Everybody goes inside. So I got to call my cousin Dave to give her charger back. You know what I mean? I'm responsible guy. So that 5-minute gap that I guess it took me to come back to get into the press conference.
I was in a press conference.
And press conference would not start without the one journalista norteamericano. They were all
he was looking for him. He was looking for him. Oh, Necta. And I'm texting Chris, the dude's looking for you. He hasn't started the press conference yet.
So I come in, I sit in the back. And now they're only going to like select people. They're not letting just anyone ask questions. So whatever. Long story short, the press conference ends. Everybody walks out the side door. And me just trying to be a clown, like, excuse me, you interrupt. And then everybody starts laughing in the room. Right? Oh, no. It wasn't me. I'm sorry. Some girl goes, a female reporter goes, you interrupt, mocking. And I'm like, Rito, tu push metem problemas. And she's like, eu, tu exatas. And I'm like, what? And then that's when the storm went off. Everybody starts telling me, this guy's looking. I'm like, man, get the fuck. I'm like, yeah. So I come out to the back and he walks by me, smiles. I smile at him and he bounces. Then he comes back and he starts, and I'm like, and I'm laughing. We have this on video. Alfredo was filming it. I'm laughing because I'm thinking he's joking. He's like, because of you and your friends, they're writing bad about me in the newspapers. And I'm like hey, because of me. Yeah, because the thing would go through whatever. And I'm laughing. The dude proceeds. He walks away. So I think it's over because I'm thinking he's messing with me.
He comes back.
I don't know. We're cursing at. So now the North got out of me. The Jersey got out of me. And I'm like, this shit got a little. I'm like, get the fuck. I'm like, I gotta need control over with the press.
And he was saying, guys come too.
Eu passo por cima deles com aqueles Bigfoot, os caminhões. And I'm like, bro, that shit got ugly. So long story short, fast forward 3 years, and this guy's still working for me at the time. And so if you guys have seen the videos of me, which not many I haven't shown, me and Rui Costa kicking the ball back and forth, we're doing our talks, and I'm shitting my pants because I'm on my idol. I'm nervous as hell. And trust me, ladies and gentlemen, I got some ginga, but between my shoes, my boots, whatever. But that dude previously, I had hung out with Jonas the night before, Luizão, Felix, all those guys. And so I had pictures of all of them. So I had posted some pictures on Twitter. You guys know I'm a Twitter hoe. You know how I do. Bro, the guy. So right before I play ball with Rui Costa, I'm outside by myself in the practice field right before the players come out. Because I always try to give them, even though they wanted me around all the time in the locker room, I try to, give them their space. He comes up to me out of nowhere. He's like, unlucky. And I'm like, yo. Oh, and at the time, the Vola wanted to do an interview. They wanted to interview me because they wanted to do a piece on a Portuguese guy. And so he comes up to me. He's like, Olá. I swear to God, he's like, yo, you're that guy from the radio, right? Tu és aquele gajo da radio. I'm like, me? Yeah, I'm like, nah.
He just lied to his face.
And I'm like, no. He's like, yes. I'm like, no, not me. And he's like, mas tu não é? I'm like, oh, that was before. Isso era antes. Eu já não faço mais isso.
Agora eu não sou mais palhaço.
And I'm like, não, eu tô aqui representar o Relevant Sport. I'm in a different capacity. Oh, okay. Mas ouve, who gave you authority to post those pictures? I'm shitting my pants. I'm like, oh my God, I'm losing my accent. They're going to throw me in a plane. They're sending me home. He's like, but who told you to put the... And I'm like, Jonas told me to post it. These guys don't care. And he's like, I'm like, dude. So
I can't hear you guys.
What?
Can you hear us, Dave? Can you guys hear us? It's just Dave. I can hear myself.
Can you
guys hear us in the chat?
So I'll finish up. If you're listening, I guess should I go on or continue? Just finish. I'm about to wrap it up. It's a cool story.
Pera aí, pá.
Yeah, we
We can hear you. Nelson
So-
says we can hear you.
So now I'm there because the president is the guy that put me there. So I don't want to make the guy look bad. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and plus I'm looking like they're coming back next year. I want to be around, and I'm like, and I'm sweating bullets. And
Yeah,
so
he
I'm-
made you took those pictures down.
Yeah, I did. I took the pictures down. And so he's like, and what's up? You're gonna do that interview with the newspaper? I'm like, how do you know? I'm like, epa, não sei. He's like, oh, se fosse eu a ti, eu não fazia. Mas vai falar com o Tiago Pinto. I'm like, they're definitely, I'm never coming back. They're sending me home. Then in the meantime, he goes back inside. Rui Costa comes outside. Rui Costa touching the ball. And I'm like, this is my chance. This is my idol. So now I'm doing the trucs, doing the touches back and forth. But I got one eye on the ball and I got one eye on the door because I'm shitting my pants. If this guy comes back out and he sees me, he's going to kick me. I'm not even going to get a plane ticket. I'm going to get on a train ticket. And and so that's why I never posted that video because of, it's a little embarrassing because
Yeah.
if you know a little bit about, so it was just, then Tiago Pinto comes up to me. He's like, yeah, it's cool if you do it, but if you don't, so I'm like, I don't want nothing to do with no, I'm not even here anymore. So yeah, it was a lot of
It was a good
nerve-wracking
time,
stuff.
man. It was a good time,
tremendous.
and I can honestly say, and I'm sure Cristiano says that was definitely like one of the
highlights of my life.
highlights. Yeah. To be able, not so much as Cristiano, but I was, because we had press access. We were in the tunnels. We were in the media areas. We saw the players up close. We got to ask them questions. The first time they were here at Red Bull Arena, we got to, wish them good luck for the season, which was Rui Vitória's first year, shake some of their hands. So that was pretty cool.
And Paulo Souza was super cool.
And Paul Souza
I know
was here.
He's not very well looked upon in the Benfica world, but he was super nice. You got to meet him, got to take a picture with him. He was super nice.
Yeah.
It was cool, man. It was cool. Like in a lot of these situations that we went through, it was cool to have Alfredo by my side because, I had someone there to witness it, and like some of these guys, and I'm not gonna drop any names. Alfredo knows very well they are, but some of these guys that we idolize on TV, they're coming up to me like, "Yo, Cristiano," and I'm like, "What the f-? And it was just super cool.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
Yeah.
That we got to meet these guys at that level. And it's something we're gonna cherish. I mean, I'm definitely gonna cherish for the rest of my life.
Those are definitely good times, and and even rubbing elbows with some of the Abola guys and Record guys, and them asking us
The
questions.
Benfica TV guys, they were tremendous too. They were
Yeah.
super nice,
Yeah.
nice. I mean, they treated us like family. Every stadium.
The Benfica TV guys wanted to interview us in every game, and we told them, "Hey, man, we already did this in Newark, man. Let's not do it elsewhere."
They were super nice.
Yeah.
João Martins, all
and
those
João
guys.
Ribeiro.
Yeah, everybody, with the exception of that one special guy. And then just to finish this off, I went to another game later on. Big, one of the biggest Benfica games in the last 5 years. All right. Benfica was trailing 1-0 and they turned it around and they won 2-1. And I go to the press conference and I sit second row right in the middle, and I'm one of the first guys to get to the press conference. I swear to God, ladies and gentlemen, I sit down, I'm leaning back. Here comes the coach. I don't want to say because I don't want to give the time. Here comes the coach. Here comes the guy. They sit right in front of me. And I'm like, totally shocked. The guy looks square at me in the face. And I'm like, and he goes, and he winks at me.
You remembered your
Smile
face,
at-
man.
Yo, but just because they won. So my man was just happy. And I was like, this guy's going to kick me out of here again.
Did
So,
Tarap play that game?
I forgot. I told you about this. We go back to Portugal. Benfica plays Sporting when João Félix scored his first goal with the head.
Yeah.
After the game, Jetson, they invite me into the players' lounge. So I go through all the tunnels, whatever. I'm in the players' lounge. I get to the party. I'm about to walk in. He comes up to me. That guy like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "Why is this guy following me around?" Now I'm like,
he remembers you, man.
and then remember, I was at your dad's house the next day, and they're calling me to ask me to be. Remember?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm like, this guy would not. So he's no longer in that function, I believe. So
I don't know if he's still attached to the club or he got a job with the FPF.
Stop saying it what it is. We don't have to give names.
We're not. No,
too
but
much details. People just do a little Google search.
no, all they have to do is who was the press officer before the guy that was there now, before Nun Farinha.
But
They're
it wasn't
gonna
that
know.
guy. It wasn't. But that's
Yeah,
not
it was.
him.
It was him.
That's not him. You started trouble, bro. Don't be putting. That's not him.
Anyway, Peggy's just stopped in. We haven't seen Peggy in a while. Peggy, hi,
He
Peggy.
just got back from Portugal. He's just coming here to rub it in.
Oh, okay.
What do you think?
No, he just listens to our podcast on the audio format. Yeah, I don't think
Like
he
4 days
watches
later.
us on. Doesn't watch us on YouTube. But anyway, where are we at? Where are we at?
We have
We have more stories. Now we have some stories, and we won't mention any names. But Cristiano was also driving guys around and stuff to the different places that they wanted to go to.
yeah. We are, yeah.
It was a good time, man.
Good time.
It was a good time, and you really, I think you get to see the players as people, and not so much as the players that you see that you idolize, right? And you kind of get to see them in their natural environment.
I took Timo in an elevator to meet like half.
That's right.
And I think Timo lost his breath or his heart almost gave out. Something I forget what. We had to.
Timo wanted to press the elevator bell so he could hold the moment.
We had to get those things that you rub and do the chest pump, the thing. But I think his heart gave out a little while. Oh.
Yeah. No, Timo got didn't Timo's son get some gloves from Flaco Dimos?
Yeah, I think that was the day it all went south.
We have someone to blame.
Timo, you jinxed them, Timo.
Timo, he gave his good luck gloves to Timo's kid. Now he can't catch a ball.
No, Timo's
It
saying
all
nah.
went south.
Timo's saying nah. He got the glove signed. Maybe that's what it
No,
was.
he gave He's saying nah. He's saying nah. It didn't go south. He gave his
Oh, yeah.
kid Timo. Fala. He gave his kid a glove or both gloves. I believe.
Yeah, both. Yeah. No, it was pretty cool, and everybody was. I remember everybody was texting you and calling you to find out what hotel they were in Jersey.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this. Bunch of tremendous guys. For the majority, 99.999% of guys, everybody's very nice. But the one guy to this day, that's my brother, stands out. The nicest athlete I've ever met, Keaton Parks.
Yeah,
Tremendous class act. Him, his whole family it's just Keaton is another level. I guess they treat him like they say, Texas, bro. They're good boys.
yeah.
Timo is
That was the first time. The first time around, Keaton came, right?
Yeah, it was his first.
The second time around, he just visited the players. He wasn't
was
with
already with NYCFC. He left that January.
Right, but he came to the hotel and he was well received and everybody. Yeah, yes. Adi promised Tomas the gloves in the lobby,
and he handed the luck to catch the ball.
Yeah,
that doctor. See, doctor. Olha Jose Rouge.
The defibrillator. Yeah, that's what it is. the thing that shocks you.
Yeah, Keaton. See the thing that shot. Boom, boom.
Yeah, no, it was a good time, man. And then obviously Cristiano has shared some stories that.
And if you guys want stories, this is just the beginning. I got stories.
We can't mention,
but that's for the Patreon or my only page, my OnlyFans page.
Yeah, my OnlyFans. It's the OnlyFans. You in a banana hammock telling stories.
Timo will be there. I know my OnlyFans. My OnlyFans page or for my Patreon because I got crazy stories. I got funny. Like when I say crazy, funny, hilarious. AC Milan when I worked with. I mean, I got crazy. When you see Ronaldinho, Robinho, you see all these guys. That's whatever your wildest dreams, whatever you hear, whatever you read, times 100. I mean, just crazy stories.
Yeah, there was one time.
I won't tell those out. I won't tell them.
There's some stories that obviously because this is public that we can't mention in public, obviously.
But you're doing it.
No, I'm not doing it at all. I was going to tell that story about like a while ago when you were with another team that guys had asked you, oh, well, where can we go and see some girls or something?
I don't know.
And you're and you were about to enter the place with the guys, and all of a sudden one of their phones rings and it says it was his wife. Said, God damn it, she sounds like she has a freaking tracker on me.
It was that one. It was another.
Yeah,
one that was scared, and he had to go back to his room. There's so many.
Yeah, that was a while ago, obviously, and that wasn't with Benfica players.
No.
But it was good times. It was good time, and I remember after the team left, Cristiano had all this water. cases of water and Red Bull.
Yeah, and they couldn't take it on the plane, so it's like, yo, put it in. I'm like, Chris, you gotta hand the car. I'm like, yeah. So like, bro, I had pallets of water and Red Bull and you name
Yeah.
it.
No, it was a good time, man. It was a good time.
They gave me all the stuff I have
Yeah.
upstairs.
This
Book,
shirt,
Eusebio
this shirt
shirt.
that you guys are seeing here, is actually it's a match shirt because it has the size is by number. It's not the small, medium, XL. The size on this shirt is actually a number for more of a perfect fit on the player. And I think that Cristiano got gifted that after that.
And there was
second
Eusebio
tour around.
shirt upstairs that I have in that book.
Yeah, the one in the black box. Yeah. No, man, good times,
Red
man.
LeBaron said he did it with Sporting.
You did it with Sporting.
He did a little chaperoning, he said. That's
Nice.
what's up. Red LeBaron, where
Chaperone,
you from?
yeah.
I used to have a Red LeBaron.
Chaperone in the 90s with Sporting.
I know, but where? Because it had to be Toronto, or when Sporting came here and played in the. What else does Sporting play here?
Sporting played Liverpool in the same day
that
that
was a couple years
Benfica. Yeah,
ago.
Benfica was playing
That's
at
That's not 90s. Though.
Red Bull.
Talking about the 90s.
The 90s.
It had to be definitely Canada.
Yeah.
They gave me a bunch of jerseys, got rid of them all except the phone.
I don't even know who Afonso Martins
It
is.
was New Jersey. Who do they play?
I'm trying to think of who they played when they came here.
Oh, Tottenham. But that was in the
that's right.
90s. They played Tottenham, but that wasn't in the 90s.
No, that was early.
That was
early
2000s.
2000s.
That was 2000s. Oh, I got to do something with
I
Tottenham.
played at Giant Stadium.
Who the hell they play at Giant Stadium now?
Yeah, it could have been in the 90s
played-
because
look,
Red Bull
gotta tell-
Arena's been on.
I still got to. I haven't told the story. One day, guys, I'll tell the because I know Carlos wants to hear. I'll tell the story in 1990, 96, 97 of when Benfica played the Metro Stars, beat them 3-0, and I played in which the New Jersey with the Champions League at the time. We had the Champions League final, and I was in the same locker room as Benfica. So me and João Manuel Pinto walking around our little trusos, our little cuecas, and I'm just in my underwear, and I see Valius Vid, and we're all rushing to shake his hand. Like, think about we idolized this guy, only to find out a couple years later he was a rato. But yeah, yeah, there's plenty of those stories, man. Yeah, there's so many stuff. Man.
No, man, good times. Anyway, I know that you guys are loving the stories,
Carlos
man.
was at that game.
You was at the game, the Sporting game,
No, the Metro Stars.
Metro Stars game.
And then look,
tell the story, man.
So I don't start that game, which was a huge mistake, clearly, by the coach. We lost 1-0. I don't start that game. And this is a true story, guys. I'm gonna tell this story. It's one of the most embarrassing stories of my life, but I'm gonna tell it. 15 minutes into the game tells me we warm up. I'm like, shit, 15 minutes. Yo, that's the whole game. Benfica's here. I'm like 19. I don't even know how old I was, 19, 20, whatever I was. I'm like, Benfica's taking me out here on the plane with them. I'm impressing the shit out. I start warming up. 15 minutes. 25. I'm like, yo, 30. I'm like, yo. 40. I sit down. Oh, I got to stretch. I'm tired, bro. Smoke's coming out of my shirt. I'm tired. Halftime. I make a sprint across the field. I say to the coach, he's like, yo, get ready. You start a second half. You're going right in halftime. I take off my warm up. I'm ready to go. All out. Right in go. Long story short, guys. Long story short. This is a true story. I'm not making this up. Carlos was there. If Carlos stayed for the after game, he'll remember. So if it was any other game, guys, I would have, and I know it's not the proper thing to do, but I would have told my coach. I mean, forget told the coach. I wouldn't have lasted that long. I would have walked off a long time ago. But again, Giant Stadium, Benfica is there, but I'm like, I gotta stick around. So, dude, finally, 37 minutes into the second half. I've been warming up since the 15th. I ain't warming up. I'm tired. I need a break. I need a freaking vacation. Yo, so I get ready to go in. Guys, I kid you not. This is a true story. I get to the midfield line. They announce the substitution. The linesman lifts. Remember, at the time, was the flag, wasn't even the numbers. And it's just as I'm about to come in, the 11 p.m. curfew at Giant Stadium kicked in and the lights went off.
Yeah.
So it's pitch dark. I said, son of a bitch, somebody doesn't want me to play. I am not meant to play today. Took the stadium 15 minutes for the lights to warm up, and then finally I went in and I finished off the last 8-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Of the game.
By then, the Benfica was on the bus and Benfica gone.
They never got. That's why I'm on the podcast, because they missed those final 8 minutes because the lights went off.
So anyway, I know you guys are loving the story, like I was saying, but let's turn our attention here on some items that we have here, and we came up with this, and as we
This is
mentioned
more
at the top.
entertaining though.
No, at the top, I had mentioned we looked at the four youth teams that played in the youth UEFA League final, and basically we're gonna go through the exercise of where are they now, right? So we have the 13-14 team, we have a 16-17 team, and then a 19-20 team. Obviously, we're not going to do the one that won it, but these are the three. And just so we get a feel, because there's a lot of talk all the time about in terms of, yeah, these kids are great. They got to the final. They're going to be at the main team. So it's curious to look at these teams and look at these names and see where these kids ended up. Did they make the Benfica team? Did they make it for themselves? And obviously, you guys are going to know the answers on some of these. But I'll give you the lineup on the 13-14 season. So Thierry Graça was in goal. Pedro Rebocho, Alexandre Alfaiate, João Nunes, Rafael Ramos, Estrela, Gilson Costa, Nuno Santos, Romário Balde, Rochinha, and Guedes. That was the starting 11 for that 13-14 team. Now, Thierry Graça...
Go team by team. Don't skip the next team.
You don't... You want me to say the next team?
No, go over that team first.
Yeah. That's
Okay, I thought you were going to skip to the next team. Okay.
Yeah, so Thierry Graça was the goalie. And after playing for Benfica B, he had a stint with Orlando City in that protocol that Benfica had with Orlando City. Then he spent some time at Estoril prior, went to Dosha, which, what is this, Qatar maybe? And then Amora FC, and now he's playing in Cape Verde at Batuk. So nothing really came of him. And the way I kind of rated these guys is like, okay, well, what level are they playing at now, right? So basically, if they're second division or under, it's like a level 3. If they're playing at the Portuguese mid to low table, is a 2, and if they're playing at a top team in one of the European leagues, that would be 1, right? So Thierry Graça obviously is a 3. Pedro Rebocho, who is the captain of Benfica B for some time in juniors also, he ended up, he's currently playing at Lech Poznan. So I gave him a 2, which is kind of like a middle of the road. But he spent some time at Guingamp in France, Besiktas. He was also at Besiktas. Passo Ferreira on the loan, but now he's at Lech Poznan. Then Alexandre Alfaiate spent after Benfica B, got loaned to Académica. Then he was in Romania, played at Lusitanos, and now he's playing in Moldavia, I'm thinking, for FC Ordino. João Nunes, who is currently playing in Hungary at Puskás Academia, but also played at Lechia Dansk and Panathinaikos. Rafael Ramos, you guys are a little bit more familiar with Rafael Ramos. He left Benfica, went to Orlando City as part of that protocol. From Orlando City, ended up at Chicago Fire. After that, he spent some time at FC Twente and the Dutch League. Then ended up at Santa Clara. Spent the past 3 years at Santa Clara, and now he's at Corinthians. He's just moved to Corinthians. So for Rafael Ramos, I'd give him probably a 1 because is at the top. Estrela was a guy that went with Rafael Ramos also to Orlando City. Spent some time there, and right now he's playing in Turkey with Erzurum BB. But he spent some time at Verzin, Aves, after his stint in the MLS, and now he's in Turkey. Gilson Costa is Aroca, Boa Vista, Estoril, Dosha, and Al Nada. That's where he's at right now.
That's his rating.
Nuno Santos, you guys all know Nuno Santos, that guy, that disgusting animal that plays for Sporting now. He was part of Benfica's team, and I think most of you guys know where he's been. Romário Balde was also spent some time in Poland, some time at the mid to lower table teams in Portugal, and I think right now he's at AEL Limassol. And I don't even know what that league is, Dave. But and then Rochinha, and you guys are familiar with Rochinha. Rochinha is currently at Vitória Guimarães, but he had a spell at Bolton Wanderers after Benfica, Standard Liège, Boa Vista, 3 years at Boa Vista. Then he moved to Vitória, and that's where he's at right now. And Guedes, who was the forward, everybody knows where Guedes has been after Benfica. He went to PSG. Then he went to Valencia for as a loan, and he's then Valencia signed him. So out of these, all of these players, right? Only one is really two are really playing at a top level. I would say Rafael Ramos and Guedes. So that's roughly 20%.
You're not giving any credit to Nuno Santos, eh?
Oh wait, sorry, Nuno Santos. Yeah, I guess Nuno Santos is playing. So 3. So 30% of those guys are playing.
I'd say Rushing is in that category too.
Yeah,
He's
I guess you
a starter
could.
for,
I guess you could. I guess you could. But he's a starter. But would you say that Guimarães is top 5 in Portugal?
No, definitely not. Well,
Right.
no.
It could be. It could be top on a good year. They might be top 5
Yeah.
in Portugal. So out of that, what 4 guys that really made it out of those 11. The other guys are playing at lower level teams or in some obscure team or league in Portugal. The 16-17 team. This is a team that had a lot more talent. Fábio Duarte was in goal. Jorginho, Calaika, Ruben Dias, and Aurélio Buta. That was the 4 guys in defense. Florentino, Jetson, Diogo Gonçalves, Jota, João Félix, and Zé Gomes. Now, this is really, you guys, Fábio Duarte, let me see where Fábio Duarte is at. Fábio Duarte is, he's still at Benfica B, so he still continues to be a young player to develop there. Jorginho is currently at Famalicão. Calaika is still at Benfica B. Ruben Dias, we all know where Ruben Dias is. Aurélio Buta is at Royal Antwerp in Belgium. Florentino has been going on and off on loans, as you guys know. Jetson is playing at Besiktas. He's played at Tottenham, Galatasaray, a spell at Benfica. Diogo Gonçalves, he's the Diogo Gonçalves that you know from the team. Jota, after a few years at Benfica, and you guys all know Jota's story, went to Valladolid on a loan, didn't really pan out there, went to Celtic, and that's where he's had that rebirth at Celtic. And then João Félix, we obviously know where he's at, and Zé Gomes, who is at some point he was touted as a huge talent for Benfica, the next goal scoring machine to come out of the Seychelles. As a matter of fact, his nickname was Zé Golos, but he never really turned out to be much. After Benfica, he was on loan at Portimonense. Then he went to Lechia Dansk in Poland on loan too. Came back to Benfica. Then Share No More, and right now I think he's playing 2nd division in Italy at Serenio, if I'm not mistaken. But clearly, this team is the one with the most talent. You got Ruben Dias, Florentino, Jetson, Diogo Gonçalves, Jota, João Félix. All of those guys made it to some of the top leagues or top teams in the respective countries. So what would say 50% of those guys made it?
I'm looking at it here. At least 6 out of the 11. Yeah. 50,
so 50 to 55%, I would say. But yeah, that team was chock full of talent, as Nelson Carvalho is probably saying. No, easy as saying it. The 1920 team. Leo Kokubu was in goal. João Ferreira, Murato, Tomás Araújo, Felipe Cruz, Henrique Joku, Tiago Dantas, Tiago Araújo, Omar Embalo, Henrique Araújo, and Gonçalo Ramos. So this is more of a recent team, and I don't think a lot of these kids have had the time to really come into their own. Leo Kokubu is still part of that whole goalie setup that plays between the U23 team and the B team. He's the Japanese goalie that Benfica got a couple years back. João Ferreira, if you guys recall, João Ferreira was brought by was it Lage that brought him, or was it Vitória? And at some point he was rumored that Barcelona was interested in him.
Or I thought it was Juventus.
No.
Wasn't it both of them?
Juve, he was included in the trade for the goalkeeper.
Oh,
Matias
Pere.
Perin.
Yeah, that's
Perini.
and then that deal fell.
Through. Yeah, because he had an injured shoulder or something.
Yeah, and right now he's on loan at Vitória. Murato, we all know what Murato's doing. Tomás Araújo, he's still a center back for Benfica. With the B setup, Felipe Cruz is also part of the B setup. Henrique Joku spent some time after Benfica spent some time at Portimonense on the under 23 teams, and now with the main team. Tiago Dantas is on loan at Tondela after that pet project at Bayern Munich. Tiago Araújo is currently at Aroca on loan from Benfica. Umaro Embalo is part of the B team setup. Henrique Araújo is you now have become accustomed to Henrique Araújo, a B team, and he just made his A team debut. And then Gonçalo Ramos is,
He's actually scored already on the main team.
Yeah. So I mean, this 1920 team is a little bit more recent. So these guys really haven't really developed, but some of these guys have already had a taste of the main team. Gonçalo Ramos is part of the team. Tiago Araújo, Henrique Araújo, Murato, Tomás Araújo. I mean, there's a lot of Araújos on this team.
I was gonna say, Benfica goes through these spells. What was it a couple of years ago? Everybody was Tavares. And now
yep.
this year it's Araújo.
Yeah, no, you're right. But yeah, this team. So what we're trying to say is that despite the talent that you see, and despite how far these kids get into these competitions, it's very hard to make it in big or to make it into a stable footballing career.
I don't like to put it that way. These guys are all going to be professionals, 98% of them. The way you should be phrasing it is, I love you, you're my writer, but the way you should be phrasing it is, if you get 2 or 3 of these guys to be key contributors to the main squad, you've won out. That's it. Because these guys, like you said, whether it's Tabuka, Batuk, whether it's somewhere in Poland, whatever, these guys are playing professional. You know what I'm saying? But it's what level? And at the end of the day, the ones that we're really interested in are the ones that are going to contribute to the main team. And so even with this year's team, they just won finally broke the goose egg against Salzburg 6-0. By the way, what a way to do it. I mean, I think they scored goals. They made up for the ones they didn't score in previous finals. Yeah. If we get three guys that are key contributors on this team, and, play for 3-4 years and we get to make our money off these guys, I mean, it's a good haul, man.
Yeah.
They expect 9, 10, 11. I mean, look, I want it.
I think even 5 is too big of a number to ask for.
Yeah,
I
mean, I love
that one team. It was 6, right? And that was the team.
Yeah, Ruben Dias, Florentino Jetson, Diogo Gonçalves, Jota, and João Felix.
So you guys want Felix, Diaz? They're phenomenal.
You got Jetson at a level underneath of them. I guess
Same
you could.
thing with Pedro Gonçalves,
Diogo Gonçalves and Jota.
They're all exactly.
And then Florentino is a little bit lower than them, but still above Kalaika and Aurélio Buta, I would say, and Zé Gomes.
Oh, Zé Gomes is even. I mean, I'm not even trying to, get on the guy, but is he even still playing?
He's playing. He's playing in the Italian second division.
Oh, we got a little nightclub action there.
Yeah, he's playing in the Italian second
Nelson
division.
Cavallo says Dantas isn't going to make SLB. He's a good Liga Nos player, though. Yeah, I mean, I agree. That's what I was referring to before, which is there's plenty of guys that are professionals.
Right.
Now, whether they're going to be Benfica contributors is another question. And I have a quick
But
question.
could they make a living out of playing for Passos Ferreira their
Yeah.
whole
course.
career?
These guys are
You think
making
so?
Alfredo.
What do you know
Alfredo,
this?
when the
What
median
is a
income
guy?
in Portugal is 12, 13. When you're making 15,000 euros a year in Portugal, working your ass off, that's a good life. These guys are making 30, 40.
Minimum?
Not minimum. The well paid ones on those
What do you say?
on the Riwabs is 80,000.
80,000.
Yeah.
A year.
So if you're making 40, I mean the guys on the Benfica B team, they're making 30 to 40,000 already
Per year.
per year. And like to you and I, it's peanuts. But in Portugal, it's huge money.
Yeah.
Even if you get a job making 2,000 euros a month, where in Portugal, you're already a different class, right? That's 24,000. You're making double that.
Yeah.
And really, it's only 10 months.
Right.
that you get
And then you also got the bonuses that you collect based
Every game.
on performances,
When I
based on wins.
with those times with Benfica, the one thing that especially the younger players, they loved was when the president would come into the locker room and say, "You win this game, you get this. We're gonna split $1 million in between there." And so these guys, when they were on their B team contracts, these guys were making more off of premiums from game prizes, whatever.
Yeah.
They were making more off of it because look, 7 victories, 70,000. That's more money than what they were making all year. They love those. They absolutely love those prizes.
Yeah.
From each individual game.
Baron, I share Nador. It's only 17 years old, bro. And it's funny because Cristiano and I were talking about this.
Yeah, and the kid
Moreira.
Moreira is disgusting. He's 17.
He's 17.
Come on, bro. That guy, you at least another year.
Yeah, because
if he's a Forte, then fine.
But what we were saying is that maybe they spend a couple weeks during preseason.
But like you
with
said,
the
I
main team.
think this year's team may have 2 to 3 that will start in a few years. Yes.
Yeah.
In 3
Yeah,
years.
I have to
talking
agree
about
with that.
this year's team with the U19 team.
I think that's a valid statement. If
I
Sharon
agree.
Nador doesn't get snapped up before he gets to a senior age, I think it's very possible that he will get snapped up. And
it's important for Benfica to sign him to a professional contract ASAP. And I like to believe that they have so far.
yeah, after 16 you could sign
but it
a
doesn't mean
professional
you
contract.
Sign them all to professional contracts.
No,
You've signed them.
but after 16 they're eligible to sign a
I got a
professional
question
contract.
for Red LeBaron. Where you said before he was in Jersey, so I'm assuming
Red
he's from
LeBaron.
Jersey. Where are you from in Jersey? If you don't mind answering.
Ironbound, Brick City.
Then I gotta know him. That's why I'm asking.
Maybe he doesn't want you to know him. That's why he puts Red Baron.
Oh, he might not want me to know him, but he knows who I am.
He definitely knows who you are. Who doesn't know who you are,
Forget-
Cristiano?
I'm talking about
Everybody knows who you are.
Newark circles. I'm not even going anywhere else.
Newark
I'm sorry.
circles.
If you're from Newark, you definitely gotta know me.
We're waiting on Red Barons. North Arlington.
Oh,
All
North
right. Yeah.
Crackalackins,
I,
Queen of Peace. I used to make my way up there to Queen of Peace. all the time to check out
I
the
grew up.
ladies.
I grew up in Kearney.
Ah.
I grew up in Kearney, as you know.
I used to walk from North to Queen of Peace and Rutherford.
Yeah, I grew up in Kearney. That's where I spent my my teen years.
You guys were rivals.
young
with
teen
North
years.
Arlington. You guys weren't exactly.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that he grew up in North Arlington.
Oh, where's Carlos from?
He played in Ironbound for
Come on,
years.
I gotta know this guy, bro. So did I. So did you.
Ironbound Strikers or just Ironbound
If you play in the
Ironbound?
Ironbound Boys and Girls Club. Don't even talk. That was
You never played futsal in at the Ironbound Boys?
I did
It's awesome, man.
for 3 seconds.
Then you got hurt.
I come in, I'm the man. I'm the
They
man.
got the wooden boards.
No, I'm
Oh, at Meineke Athletics.
So he played against me. Then he played against me in that game. Meineke, pá. Jogou comigo in
I know
the
Jean Moral.
Dude, I know them all. Bustamante, all them guys. All them guys used
Yep.
to be over there. So if he played at Meineke, he played in that game that the lights went off. But
Yeah,
listen,
because Meineke wasn't around for
that
too
was
long.
it. And then it was after that. Maya used to be the coach.
Carlos
at that
from Elizabeth.
Oh, he's from Elizabeth. So I played at the Boys and Girls Club. So my boys come in. Remember, I'm whatever. And I'm like, I don't play in that crap. But come play. So I come in. The game's going on, right? I jump on and right out of the boards. And I do a 1-2. And I take off. I looked back, the ball didn't fucking move. It was the heavy ass balls.
Yeah.
I said, this is not for me. I walked off. I swear to God.
Yeah,
That was the only time I played.
every time.
It's the only time in my life. Yeah, I did it 1-2 and the ball didn't move. I said, this shit ain't for me. Now jump right out. Meyer was the coach. So, Epa, Red LeBaron. Meyer, yeah, Leroy's that. You played against me, man. We played against one another.
Yeah.
You got to remember, look, the picture. I have the picture.
He probably knows you.
Oh, okay.
He just doesn't want you to know him.
Oh, tienes razón.
So anyway, so that's that's the point that we were trying to make, is that not
I gotta know Carlos too. Then,
despite I might have run into Carlos at some point, because Carlos and I are more or less the same age.
Oh yeah, you guys are all four.
Couple years difference. But yeah, that's just to say that there's a lot of hype on these teams that make it far and kids have accomplished. But don't forget, not every kid makes it to a main team or to the top levels of Europe, like Ruben Dias, like Bernardo Silva, like João Cancelo. But that we just wanted to illustrate that. But it's great to have the talent there. But as Cristiano has mentioned, that after a while, the game becomes more mental than just talent, because then you get to a point that your talent, unless you're a forward setti, your talent is going to be matched by your teammate. Yeah. Everybody's going to be on the same level in terms of talent.
At the clubs like Benfica, at the real good clubs, which is everybody. You look around in a room, and everybody can do what you do. So what sets you apart? Your work rate.
Yeah.
Right. Your ginga, your ability to put away a free kick,
your mentality,
your speed, or your physicality, your mentality, which is, and I think I've said this a million times here on the podcast, but freaking, I was told at a very young age, and Carlos says that he's entirely too old for me, but you'd be surprised. I was afraid he was way older than me, and I played with him as a young. I was always playing with the older guys first. So you and I probably played against each other together, whatever. But decent thing of it. But I was told 50 million times, even in my young days, that football was 90% mental, 10% physical. I'm like, well, fuck, that makes no sense. And as you get older, it's all about mental. Because when you're young, you don't care about nothing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You just want to play a game.
Yeah.
You don't worry about family. You don't worry about contracts. You don't worry about, am I going to be here next year? You don't worry about none of that when you're younger.
Fucking Baron played with all these guys. All these guys are a generation.
So Vivaldo,
Busta, Vivaldo, Luis Enrique, they were brothers.
They were brothers. The goalkeeper.
Your cousins with Pascal and Francois?
Yo, Pascal played at Sporting. Oh, that's probably why he was around at Sporting back in the day. Pascal's my man. He's in Brazil.
Yeah,
now.
we played Francois. Hey, Baron, I don't know if you go that far with the podcast, but when Benfica played Marseille, we actually had Pascal on the show, because he's a big no, not Marseille, Bordeaux. He's a big No, this was probably before your time. He's a big Bordeaux
Pascal's
fan.
My man, dude.
Pascal is good.
Pascal's my man. That was my striker when I played.
No, I'm talking about Francois.
Pascal. Yeah, I know. Pascal left. I know he played for Sporting. He used to tell me stories all the time. Pascal left them to come play for us.
Yeah. Now this is getting way too.
I love.
Now one of these days we got Bordeaux.
I love these conversations, but you know what I hate? That you know who the hell I am, but I'm looking at a red LeBaron.
Red LeBaron.
I used to have a red LeBaron back when I was
anyway,
19.
Turning our attention to a more happy subject, Porto, coming up this weekend.
That's happy.
Look, Cristiano.
I don't want to talk.
Porto preview. What did I write on the Porto preview?
No. Move for this Benfica. No, for this Benfica.
Just win, baby.
That's all I had here on a Porto preview. Look, I think that none of us as Benfiquistas want to see Porto celebrate in our house. The only thing that I hope for is that in the same approach that we approached Europe, with these teams that were a little bit higher leagues than ours, I just hope that we can channel that spirit and that emotion and that pride.
You mean well, and I'm sorry to interrupt you. You mean well, and you're saying all the right things, right? And so for you guys in the chat, all the Freddies, you guys listening at home, when you have an opportunity, please don't think that I'm trying to knock Alfredo off of his thought process, off the pedestal here, or trying to off the stage. But bro, let's call a spade a spade. At the end of the freaking day, none of that shit matters. I don't give a shit who we played, where we got it from, against who, how it. Bro, this is Porto. Figure it fuck out. Figure it the fuck out. You have to. We could have been the worst. Like, we could have been, 2015 all over again, or 60, whatever the hell it was, where we had 0 points in the Champions League. We could have been that team where we were atrocious in the Champions League and Europe. This is against Porto. This is for your freaking dignity. These guys are going to have an opportunity, even with a draw, to celebrate in your house.
Yeah.
If you can't get up for this game, and I know I say this shit over and over on the podcast when it comes to these games, but if you can't get up for this game, I don't want you in my locker room. I hope Roger Schmidt sends you back to God knows what. I don't care. Get out, Alfredo. But what you're saying, I agree. You're 100% correct. But you shouldn't even have to say that. This should be the type of game that we come out here, Porto Benfica preview, Caladinhos. The players themselves. We play Porto. End of story.
Yeah.
There's nothing else that needs to be explained.
I'm with you, man.
Translated, pictured, nothing. You should just look at that game on the schedule. Forget about the fact that they could celebrate in your house, but the fact that one of your two biggest rivals, you just beat the other one. These guys are coming to your house. They've been disrespecting you for years and years and years. That right there is one of them games in order for you, and I hate to make these comparisons because there's actually real war and death going on in Ukraine and other parts of the world. My heart goes out to those people. But this is the type of game you got to kill me to get me off this field.
Yeah. I just think that the team doesn't have it in them. So because I think that they don't have it in them, maybe I would hope that they could channel what they've done in Europe this season. Because I just don't. And here's what I was thinking about, man. I think that any play, and I'm going to watch this game. Any player that I see doesn't give his 100% for me, he could go F himself. I'm done with them. Whatever. I think that as miserable as the team has been all season, the one constant thing that's been there is the support from the fans. You agree?
But that's been forever. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah.
So do us this one favor. For the love of the Lord. Pelo amor de Santa.
No, pelo amor ao Benfica.
Do us this one favor and do us proud. Just this one game and prevent these guys from celebrating at Stadio de Luz like they've done in past years. Please.
Dave
hasn't spoken much today.
I know.
Well, Chris has got all the stories here tonight, but I agree with you guys. I'm not coming into this game confident at all, and I've been preparing myself for weeks that we're gonna see these jackasses celebrate at our home stadium here. But prove us wrong, like you guys have said. How many times we came in here previewing the Ajax game where 5-0, and then what did we do? We got a decent result. So
and then Liverpool.
I called 2-2. You better stop it.
That's right.
And then Liverpool.
Barcelona even before that, and we've been proven wrong on the Champions League side, and I guess we've been proven wrong on the other way on the Portuguese league side with a couple of the shitty results we've posted this year. But God, we don't need any more motivation for this week's game, but I'm not coming in confident at all.
I'm so done with this team, but I just hope they would do this for me. Just this once.
I like this guy, Red Baron, because he says something that we've said here on the podcast over and over. You want the mojo. You want the recipe to be Benfica? Give him the ball. We don't know what to do with the elbow.
But Verissimo is comfortable in that role.
He might be, but I don't know if the players are.
He's comfortable in that role, being the underdog, being the guy that waits for a team.
But that's the opposite, though.
Yeah, I'm saying
because
that's the opposite, Alfredo. I'm talking about, like you said, Porto will sit back and give us the ball. Like I said to you all year long.
I think that Porto will. I think. No, I don't know, man.
No, but that's your opinion. He thinks that Porto will do that. But what I'm saying is, go back to the beginning of the year with other podcasts that we've done, and I've said then, like, you want to be Benfica, give him the ball. And that's exactly what he's saying. Give Benfica the ball. Benfica doesn't know how to play with the ball. Yeah. Benfica's only good on the counter.
I agree.
That's how they beat Sporting.
Exactly. They just go have the ball. Because now here's the thing. Back in the days, to bring it to our day, to Carlos in our days, right? When we were younger, possession actually meant a little something. right? Because possession was with an intent of getting forward and scoring and, actually getting the ball into dangerous zones. Nowadays, possession is just a fabricated number because you can have all the possession you want, but if I'm the one with the real, high grade scoring opportunities, you can have all the possession you want. As Dave just said, that was exactly the case against Sporting. Have the possession you want. I'll come on a counter and I'll create a real scoring opportunity when you have the ball for freaking 30 minutes and you don't even take a shot, a real dangerous shot on goal. That being said. So, yeah, I mean, look, one thing we've said here is Porto will do their scouting. Porto will have somebody watching video. Does Benfica do the same? And that's what those are the questions that we've had over the years that we don't know for a fact if Benfica does those things. And if they do, they don't do a very good job.
I don't know. I think that, especially after Roger Schmidt garnered strength, and now has he been made official yet? Benfica did say that
they're still negotiating.
They're under the contract.
No, they've reached the pre-agreement,
right? But I would think that after these guys heard that we now have a coach, why not play for the coach?
What coach?
Just
Schmidt or Verissimo?
Schmidt. Because now they know that for sure.
For meaning that like they want to impress them.
This final stretch of the season, right? Why not play for the coach? Show them what you got.
Well, because there's a bunch of because a lot of these guys are prima donnas. A lot of them have their spots already reassured, and the other ones they're on their way out. I mean, I don't think there's any in between. The only guys that are safe are going to be the young guys for now, but everybody else, the guys that have some type of stats, the guys in the starting 11, they either know they're staying or they're leaving already. A lot of these guys.
It's going to be a very, very difficult. A lot of these guys are going to be in a very difficult position, and because for one, I don't think they're going to fit in the game idea and the game model that Schmidt's going to bring.
Look, Nelson says the same thing. It's easy to beat Benfica. Just play a low block. Give us the ball. We don't know how to break it down. And Carlos, I love this guy, but I don't know. I probably hate him on the field. If you've ever played competitive ball, this is where you tell the other guy on the other side what you think of his wife. Epa, what if you're single?
Or his boyfriend. I don't know.
Or his goat.
Or his goat. But, I mean, when you look at Schmidt, and if you guys understand Portuguese, go listen to the podcast that Benfica Independent did with Sergio and João Nuno, where João Nuno gives some information about Schmidt, how he plays. High press, high intensity, high lines, likes to play in a 4-2-3-1 with the two guys in the midfield being kind of like hybrid box-to-box guys. Always relentless search for a goal. And when you look at this Benfica team, there's probably not a lot of guys that would fit in that model. Darwin's going to be gone.
Gonzalo, no, but you said when you look at this team. So I'm looking at this team.
But the guys that supposedly going to stay with the team for next season.
Gilberto?
I think Gilberto would fit.
Otamendi?
But if Otamendi, yes, but not Otamendi and Vertonghen.
No, Vertonghen, no. But I was going one by one. You cut me off.
You can't have two slow center backs when you play with that high of a line.
Verissimo could.
I think
it'll be Verissimo, Otamendi in the back.
But here's the big question mark is, how is Verissimo gonna come back from his injury? Because it was a major injury.
Yes, you're right. But look, we're not playing. This is not in the 90s when these are,
right. You got a high
exploratory. These guys, yeah, you still have a chance that you don't come back the same. You have a chance that shit goes wrong. Yeah, absolutely. But these things happen so regularly nowadays that it's like you going, to a dentist and getting a tooth.
É como trocar de cuecas.
So I mean, you always have the risk something could go wrong, but I like to think that Benfica and their medical department are doing the best job they can to get this guy ready to play for the come the July and preseason. I look, yes, there's always that possibility, but I try to pull a Carlos here and glass half full type of thing. I try to be positive. I think he'll be fine. He might not come out of the block chopping people down like he was doing at the game. But, by the time August comes around or the first game for the Champions League playoffs or qualify, whatever the hell it's called, I don't even know what that shit's called, in July, he'll be fine. I think he'll be fine. He'll be ready to go. But I do think Benfica does need, I think Vertonghen appreciate what he's done. I appreciate his contribution. We'll do this in the keep, buy, sell, whatever podcast. But I think Vertonghen já fez o que tinha a fazer, and I think it's Benfica should go get another center back. I know the kid at Araújo, I like Murato is there.
No, but we need somebody with more experience, I think.
We need a 24-year-old, a guy
Yeah.
that could step in.
Yeah.
And I know Murato, look, he had his hiccups. He had his ups and downs.
Yeah, João Nuno in the podcast, he mentioned that we should go and get the dude from Braga, David Carmo.
Yeah, he's there's a lot of interest
He's
in him
another young
outside
guy
of
too,
Portugal.
right?
Yeah, Dave,
Yeah,
there's a
he's
lot of
young,
interest
but
in him.
he's really stepping up.
And he's got a great name because I'm from Gafanha do Carmo, so Carmo. You know what I mean? Great name.
Have you heard the latest about Nelson Semedo?
Nelson Smith, no.
No, what's his name?
I don't know.
The gangster.
Oh, but
Oh,
that-
Ruben.
Ruben Smith.
That was stupid. You know me, I like to pile on him. I can't believe that guy's. But that
He
was.
called the girl.
He bought her an Uber and then he left her outside. So what? I mean, yo.
I know. I was surprised that was even news.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
But yeah, look, we will do the
Sheik Marcelino saying Carmo was from our formação. So look, but then again, the last guy that was from our formação was playing at Porto, Cardoso.
Yeah, well,
So let's hope that that's not the case.
playing. That's questionable because I don't think he's seeing much playing time.
Who
But,
is?
Cardoso.
Oh, he played it. It was enough to stomp on Darwin's foot.
Yeah, but when we do that buy keep sell segment, which probably is not going to take too long. We might do that.
Not buy because we're not buying our players. Loan.
No, loan
Keep sell.
loan keep sell. That's right. I got that wrong.
That's all right.
Well, when we do that, we're gonna have to half the team, 75% of the team will be.
I swear it gets worse and worse every year. We're selling more than we're
Dave,
keeping.
didn't we do that the year before JJ came back? I think we got rid of the whole team except like 3 guys.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
I
that's
think
what we
last year
wanted.
too. Last year we got rid of a bunch of people. Yeah, Rafa could go on to somebody had said, and I forget that Rafa was it Diogo that Rafa could end up at Porto and be a thorn on our side. I'm not. Rafa doesn't scare me, man.
What makes you think he's going to go to Porto?
I don't know.
Why? He's a free agent? Then I know he's not a free agent. He ain't going to Porto.
I think that if he plays his cards right, maybe super agent Menj will put him at Wolves.
Men's just gained a little
A
bit
bunch of clients.
a little bit more
He just
notoriety, more importance.
He just gained a bunch of
he's
clients.
definitely the super agent now.
Nah, Pini.
He's a super.
No,
Oh, Pina's a Javi.
Pini's still the super.
Anyways,
And I know about it, but a lot of the stuff that George does, Pini that does, George comes in for the picture.
yeah, Baron saying central defenders are not our issue. We have Verissimo, Otamendi, Murato, and Tomás Araújo, se o Vertonghen sair. Yeah, I would love for Murato to have a little bit more experience, man, because I think there's potential there, but I just don't think he's experienced enough. I think Otamendi is going to stay. Tomás Araújo again.
Yeah, but you got four center backs right now.
You got 4 center backs.
We're not even counting.
You still got Ferro that's on loan.
Without even not like nice guy, but without even counting Vertonghen, who's technically still on the roster, you got 5.
Lincoln is somebody bought Lincoln, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I wish. I want Lincoln at Benfica. I like Lincoln a lot.
Well, he was rumored to Atletico, I believe.
No, the guy that left was the guy from Gil Vicente. He went to Atletico.
Yeah.
That's it.
We don't know what's going to happen with Jota. I think that I read something today that Jota could actually refuse
Yes.
the clause.
It's only 70%.
So Celtic will trigger the clause, but it ultimately comes down to
It
It
Jota
comes
whether
down
or
to
not he wants
it comes down to his decision.
It's the 7.5 mil for 70%, and I guess he could.
Yeah, I like Lincoln, man. I like Lincoln. I think we've been talking about Lincoln.
I think Samuel Lino is the guy that's going to Atletico.
That's what Chico Marcelino is saying. Chico,
Okay. Yes.
Chico, you missed some good stories at the beginning of the podcast, man. I recommend you go back and listen to it. Some good stories by Cristiano here about the one that Benfica was here at the
Já tá
ICC.
farto de histórias dessas.
Pois é, Chico's been with us for a while.
Oh, Marcelino, I thought it was para ti.
Chico Marcelino. Yeah. So
Nah, but listen, it's gonna be interesting. I know there's a lot of people that are pooping on Roger, but
who's pooping on
I was
Roger?
gonna say,
go to my Twitter handle. Go to my
Oh,
Twitter.
please.
You like to engage all those people.
I don't engage.
They engage you.
They comment. Just like last week, I said something. Yeah, the day of Roger Schmidt for a perfect example. That obviously I just translated with the CBB comunicado, whatever. And I said Benfica have announced that they've reached a pre-agreement with Roger Schmidt, and then I had in my thoughts like, yo, I like it. I'm interested to see what along those
Somebody
lines.
jumped on you.
No, a bunch of Sportingistas come. Oh, this guy, he's not gonna play. And I'm like, hey, you talk about engaging. I didn't even respond.
O que eles dizem não se escreve, pá.
But eu estou a dar um exemplo. Tu é que acabaste de dizer that I
Isso é
engage.
benfiquistas.
You just finished saying that I engage. And I'm saying, give you an example of plenty of people. I don't engage. I just give my thought. But I just found it fun. I'm mentioning the sport because I found it funny that Portuguese is coming on my timeline to talk about a Benfica coach, that they're really upset that the Benfica coach is not going to give the kids in the formação a play. And I'm sitting there like,
that's not true.
I don't know, dude. But why? Like I don't engage. That's the point I'm trying to say. I engage when I have
that's
to.
fine. But from what I read, he's a guy that likes to look at the youth, and if there's talent there, as Cristiano mentioned, regardless of the age, if you're capable of doing the job, and if there's talent, hey, power to you.
I told you last week. I told Dave wasn't here. Dave was at the baseball game. So Dave, I'm gonna repeat it. I told Alfredo last week, and for those Freddies and everybody listening that didn't get an opportunity to listen to last week's podcast, I'll repeat it. Roger Schmidt could be the coach that promotes the most kids in the world. I could give two craps. It makes absolutely no difference to me because Benfica's going to go on year 3 without winning crapo. He's got so much. They're going to have pressure to turn this thing around, right? All he's going to care about is who can play and give him the best effort possible today. Who can give me the better opportunity to win today's game? Benfica não tem, and I've said this over and over, não tem o luxury of, we're going to play kids. And if we finish in 3rd and 4th place again, it's okay. And all these Benfiquistas that come on the chat and go all over Twitter and all over the world, Benfica need to play kids. Benfica need to play kids. Benfica, they'll be the first ones waving the white hankies at the Estádio da Luz when Benfica wins 2 out of 8 games. Okay? The coach got to go. Bro, Benfica is not afforded the luxury of time. It just doesn't happen. Okay? It is what it is. That's the type of club that Benfica is. There is no luxury for sitting there and playing kids while you're not getting the results.
Chris, we're at an hour 27 minutes, and we're just about to finish recapping the Porto game. But
No.
does Tarapt get called to the roster sheet against Porto on Saturday? Here?
I would say yes.
If it's yes, if I was him, I wouldn't go. Wait, now you need me?
I think
For these games, you need me?
It's gotten to a point where, because nothing else matters, I think that if there's players that Benfica is not counting on for next year, they much rather give minutes to the kids or any other player that they feel they're going to be counted for next year than guys that are not. And Tarap might be a guy that ends up on these shores on this side over here. So
maybe he's afraid of flying. He didn't want to fly to Madeira, and they saved him the trip to Madeira.
Tarap is not
That was
afraid
Dennis
of flying.
Bergkamp. That was Dennis Bergkamp. He didn't fly. The great Dennis
Yeah,
Bergkamp.
I agree. I agree with Nelson. Tarap plays. We saved them for this game. And we've been saving them for weeks now.
Grimaldo's back. He was in Madrid this week. One of our friends was at an airport in Madrid. He just happened to be there next week. He posted pictures, taking pictures of him in Madrid.
All right, just a couple more loose items before we go. The handball team made it to the Final Four of the EHF Cup. I think the first time ever in the club's history. May 2nd was the 60th anniversary of Benfica's win over Real Madrid for when Benfica clinched their second Champions League Cup. 5-0 win. The women's football team or soccer team, however you call it, has a chance to clinch the Bicampeonato this weekend on Sunday when they play at Estádio da Luz against Sporting. That's all I got.
Bro, I know a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but I can't stand these dumb stats, these dumb sellers. Oh, yeah, it's 50 years since we beat. But you should be embarrassed. Shouldn't be
You haven't won it
celebrating.
since then.
You should be embarrassed,
No,
bro.
look, I think it's something that's very
Hey,
important.
we haven't
to
won
the
a game in 60 years, but yo, let's celebrate it.
But I think it's it's
man.
very
I hate that shit.
it's a huge moment of the club's history and it deserves to be
I
remembered.
agree. Okay. Yeah, okay. It's 50 years since we won our last Champions League. That's the way they should phrase it.
It's 3 years since we last won our Portuguese league.
Yeah. That's a long time.
Now that's a stat.
That's a long time.
We'll have a little bit more on Roger Schmidt, but I was telling Cristiano that I really don't expect Roger Schmidt to perform miracles next year because
I'll tell you this much.
of the turnover that he needs to have in the squad.
I can guarantee you one thing.
That the team will play much more attractive soccer.
Not even that.
What?
Guarantee Benfica's going to be the fittest team in the league.
That I'm with you.
Dudes are gonna. I feel so bad for them. If I'm Nadal Tarap, I'm looking for a transfer.
And Almeida.
Almeida, forget it. Coitadinho. Roda já não chegam. Almeida started his last game.
Yeah.
You think, Dave? Almeida just
I
started
am
against
so
Braga.
surprised how that man made it to the starting 11. Like,
You think
if
it
we're-
was
if
like
we're look-
hurrah?
we're
Hooray,
looking
whatever?
for players here to showcase some of these young guys, but yet that pylon still makes
the
it
team
into
captain,
the
bro.
starting 11.
Dave,
It's
he's a team captain, Dave.
It's a good call here. Baron saying atenção que o Schmidt já lançou bastante jovens daqueles que valem acima de 50 milhões. Havertz, Mané e
And then
Chico,
my boy
Chico Marcelino says também lançou o Lázaro. É verdade.
Razão.
Tem razão. You know, look, not every coach is perfect, but I think that we got a good one in Schmidt. I just hope that all of the dysfunction that's happening at the club behind the scenes is something that's not going to affect Schmidt's performance. And I think that everything that he's been promised, I hope that everything has been promised by the directive, and when he was offered the position, that they give him every single condition for him to be able to succeed.
I know we got to go because we've been on here for a while. But
Andre Almeida plays over Tarap. Well,
Let
Tarap
me,
can't play right back, man.
They never tried.
He would turn over the ball too many times.
What did you guys make of the interaction between Costa and that fan in Madeira?
Yeah. So for you guys that don't know, there's a clip out there where Rui Costa is smoking a cigarette outside of the hotel, and he is questioned by one of the fans, asking what's going on, what are you doing, and Rui Costa's answer at first was that I've only been here for 8 months, and then he says, "What about the audit?" And the guy, Rui Costa,
8 months or 6 months?
6 or 8,
6.
and Rui Costa says, "Sabes lá tu que é uma auditoria?" It's like, you don't know what an audit is, but it's all over the place. It's kind of funny.
Yes.
I think that it's, I don't know if you engage fans like that, or I think you just ignore it. It's not the right idea to engage fans like that. But again, that audit, which was something that he pressed on a lot during his campaign, about transparency, about communication, about opening everything about the club, none of that has happened. So Baron says, first of all, Rui Costa needs to quit smoking before he has a heart attack. Secondly, he needs to know when to ignore some fans. I agree, man. And is already one of the papers was already reported that he will not sit next to Pinto Costa, despite being give him hugs.
I think Pinto Costa don't want to sit by him because then he's going to mess up his champagne celebration.
Yeah, I don't know.
It comes down to. All right. Well, it was a good one. Appreciate all the
right, guys.
feedback. Red LeBaron, let us know when you want to come on the pod. I mean, you're a Jersey cat. All you Jersey cats.
Yeah, man.
Anybody, really. Anybody that's listening, you guys want to
Carlos.
participate, you don't have to come in live. I mean, you could do it like David over there in Canada.
Yeah,
Just
I
let
think
us
that the preseason we're going to open up to have guests, especially guys that have been with us.
Anybody
For
that
a while.
wants something to say, we'll bring them on.
Yeah. That sounds good. Maybe like a call in or something, like a forum.
Yeah, we'll get you.
Everybody, have a good week. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Arrivederci, everybody.
Forza
Happy
Benfica.
Mother's Day.
Later.
Coming up.